Your shoulders have three distinct muscle heads, one in the front, which is commonly referred to as the anterior deltoid, one in the middle, known as the mid-deltoid, and one in the back, which is called the posterior or the rear deltoid. You also have your rotator cuff muscles that sit underneath those external shoulder muscles, but the front, middle, and back shoulder heads are the ones that are most visible when looking at your shoulder in the mirror. And if you want to have full, muscular looking shoulders, it's very important to develop all three heads. But the problem is that for most people, their front head is overdeveloped because it's used way more than the mid and the rear head during compound exercises like the bench press and the shoulder press. Also, the mid head is typically still used and developed more than the rear head, which gets the least attention and development of all. This is unfortunate because the mid and especially the rear head is extremely important to work if you want to get that 3D shoulder appearance. And it doesn't help that there's a common myth suggesting that all you need to do to develop fully rounded shoulders are overhead pressing exercises like seated and standing military presses with barbells and dumbbells, because according to research, these exercises primarily target the front head of the shoulder as well as some of the mid head, but they mostly leave the rear deltoid completely out, further emphasizing the imbalance between front, middle, and back. So today I want to go over some of the top exercises that you can do for overall bigger, thicker, 3D shoulders, and to accomplish that I want to specifically focus on the rear and lateral heads. Starting first with one of the top compound exercises for the rear head according to research from the American Council on Exercise, the 45-degree incline row. For this one, you'll want to start laying face down on the bench with the bench at an incline angle similar to the angle that you would set up for an incline press. Even though you can perform this exercise with a barbell, a lot of benches will get in the way of the bar path and won't allow a full range of motion. So I suggest that you use dumbbells, and for your starting position, you'll want to hold those dumbbells straight down. A lot of people will make the mistake of keeping their shoulders tense and holding the weight at a forward angle instead of just letting the dumbbells hang straight down. Once you're in the proper starting position, row both dumbbells back by concentrating on pulling your elbows straight up towards the ceiling. Then return the weight back down to the original starting hanging position and repeat for reps. To target more of the back of your shoulders, I recommend rowing higher and wider than usual by bringing your elbows out to your sides and by having your hands rotated inward in a pronated position instead of a neutral position like you would normally do for regular dumbbell rows. But just like regular rows, when you're rowing up, it's very important that you think about pulling with your elbows and not your hands to target more of the back of your shoulders instead of your biceps. Next up is another great exercise for the back of your shoulder, the high cable reverse fly. This is a little different from regular reverse flies on the cable machine because you'll be pulling the cables down rather than straight back, targeting a slightly different part of the back of your shoulder that most exercises don't target. To set this one up, you'll raise the pulleys all the way up on each side. Then remove any attachments on the cables and instead grab each cable by the ball above the carabiner. You're going to cross your arms over, so with your right arm, you're going to grab the left cable, and with your left arm, you're going to grab the right cable. Then take a few steps back to eliminate any slack and stand with your feet even with each other. Then from that top position, with one arm over the other, you're going to extend the cables downward to your sides, so diagonally until both arms are about at hip level. Then return back to the starting position with one arm crossed over the other above eye level and repeat for reps. When performing the exercise, also make sure that your elbows stay slightly bent but locked in that bent position. You don't want your elbows fully locked out, and you also don't want to be doing tricep extensions by extending the elbow on each contraction. So again, keep your elbows locked in that slightly bent position. You can also do the same exercise with the cable set at different heights to create a unique angle to target the back of your shoulder. Another great compound exercise that you could do on the cables are face pulls. These are great for the back of your shoulder, but only when they're done a certain way. So to set this one up, first you'll want to once again bring the pulleys all the way up so that they're both above your shoulders. Once you have your pulleys set at the right height, you want to make sure that you attach a rope and grab it with both hands with your thumbs facing towards you. Then take a step back to eliminate that slack and pull the cable back towards your face, aiming to bring the center of the rope attachment towards your eyes. While doing this, you want to keep your hands above your elbows and concentrate on rotating your shoulders back as you're pulling back with your hands. Most compound posterior exercises, I recommend pulling with the elbows, but with this one, the goal should be to pull back with your hands while rotating at your shoulder. A common mistake that many people make with face pulls is they pull back with their elbows, turning it into more of a row. Like I said, we're going to want to rotate the arms externally while pulling back. After that, you'll just rotate internally as you return the rope back to the starting position in front of your face and repeat for reps. Next up is a pretty common one that's very effective for building up the rear delts, the dumbbell bent over reverse fly. Now, you can do this standing or seated. Both can be very effective. So first, let's start with standing. You're going to grab two relatively light dumbbells that should obviously be challenging, but they're going to be lighter than the amount of weight that you can lift for lateral raises. Then you're going to bend over until your upper body is almost parallel with the ground and let both dumbbells hang straight down. Make sure your knees are slightly bent and that you maintain that neutral curve in your lower back by concentrating on sticking your chest out the whole time. Don't allow your back to round forward because even with light dumbbells, it can possibly lead to an injury. Then while keeping your elbows slightly bent, just like we talked about earlier, you're going to want to perform a reverse fly by bringing the dumbbells back towards your sides. Then lower them back down and return back to the starting position to repeat for reps. Now, to perform these seated, you would do it the same exact way, except you would slide to the edge of a bench to leave enough space for the dumbbells to pass under your thighs on each rep. And also, since you're seated, you want to bend until your chest is pretty much at your knees before doing your reverse flies. Performing them seated is also a great alternative if your back bothers you while doing them standing, and if it still bothers you doing them seated, another alternative is to do it laying face down against the bench at a slightly inclined angle to help support your lower back. Next, we have bent over high rows. These could be performed with dumbbells or with a barbell, but since we haven't used the barbell yet today, we're going to go with that. Again, for this one, you'll want to load a lighter weight than what you normally would do for regular rows, but still keep it challenging. You're also going to slightly bend your knees and bend your back a little further down than you usually would with regular rows so that your upper body is almost parallel with the floor. Grab the barbell with a wide grip. For most of you, that'll mean your middle finger or your pointer finger will end up on the first rings of an Olympic bar. Then while sticking your chest out to protect your back, row straight back, aiming to bring your elbows out wide rather than close to your sides. Then return the weight back down and repeat for reps. To hit the back of your shoulders more effectively, remember to concentrate on pulling with your elbows, driving towards the ceiling. Moving on, we have one more exercise for the back of the shoulder before we go on to targeting the rest of your shoulder, and this is one of my personal favorites that I've mentioned before that's highly overlooked and you don't see too many people doing it, the long angle dumbbell row. For this one, you'll have to select a lighter weight than what you normally use for regular dumbbell rows because this exercise pretty much completely takes your bicep out of the movement and shifts the focus onto that rear deltoid. With your dumbbell in one hand, bend over and place your other hand either against a bench or some platform that can support your body weight. Then, just like regular dumbbell rows, you'll be rowing back, concentrating on pulling back with your elbow first, but the difference with the long angle row is that you're going to aim to bring the dumbbell further back. You almost want to aim to bring the dumbbell back to your hips as if you're trying to put the dumbbell in your pocket. Then return back to the starting position with the dumbbell hanging straight down and repeat for reps. Also remember to stick your chest out while performing this exercise just like the other ones. Even though you'll be supporting your lower back with your other arm locked out against the bench or a platform, you still don't want to allow your back to round forward, and sticking your chest out will always help prevent you from doing that. Next, I want to move on to the lateral head of your shoulder, and the first one that I want you to do is the seated lateral raise. With this one, you'll want to start seated at the edge of a bench with two dumbbells down at your sides. Once again, you want to make sure that you have enough space to pass the dumbbells under your legs on each rep. Grab the dumbbells and instead of sitting straight up, you want to be leaning slightly forward to help take the front part of your shoulder out of the movement. Start with both dumbbells close together, touching underneath your legs, and then while maintaining a slight bend in your elbows, raise the dumbbells straight to your sides until your arms are about parallel with the ground. Then lower back down until the dumbbells meet underneath your legs once again and repeat for reps. You can of course do this standing as well. I just find that when I do it seated, I'm able to use a slightly heavier weight. And remember, going with a challenging weight load for all of these exercises is key to building up your shoulders. Another one that I really like is the leaning lateral raise. I've shown this one on the cables in another shoulder video in the past, but today I'll show you guys how to do it with a dumbbell. The setup is actually pretty much exactly the same. You would start first by grabbing onto a sturdy post that can hold your body weight. Make sure that you stand with your feet close to that post and lean away so that your elbow is locked out. With a dumbbell in your other hand, you'll want to raise your arm straight to your side, once again while keeping a slight bend in your elbow, and raise until your arm is almost parallel with the floor. Then repeat for reps. As you can see with this one, you'll be coming up higher than you would with regular lateral raises since you'll be leaning to your side. This presents a unique challenge for your shoulder, and even though I see people doing lateral raises often at the gym, I really don't see that many people incorporating this great exercise, so make sure you mix it into your shoulder routine. The last one that I want to go over for the mid-deltoid is the standing cable lateral raise. Now I have shown this one before by doing it standing inside a cable cross, so this time I want to show you a different variation that'll help you target the middle of your shoulder as well as the back part, since the back part doesn't get as much work during pressing movements. Just like before, you want to lower the pulleys all the way to the bottom of the cable cross with the D handles already attached, but this time you want to stand on the outside rather than on the inside. You're going to cross your arms, so grab the left cable with your right hand and the right cable with your left hand. Then take a few steps back. From there, just like the other lateral raises, you're going to raise up and out to your sides, but you're not just going to stop at parallel. You're actually going to keep raising higher up until your arms create a Y shape. Again, while doing this, remember to keep that slight bend in the elbows the whole time and keep that position in your elbows locked. Once you get to the top, lower back down slowly and repeat for reps. So those are the 9 awesome exercises that'll help you develop thicker and more 3D looking shoulders. I don't recommend doing them all in one workout, but you can take a few and incorporate them into a workout to help build up your shoulders while saving the others for a second workout during the week. Specifically, the rear delt exercises are great to do with your shoulder workout or with your back workout, depending on how you set those up. That's about it, guys. I really hope this video has helped you out. If it has, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit that bell icon. Also, if you're looking for a very simplified approach for building up your shoulders as well as other muscles in your body like your chest, back, arms, and legs, and you want to skip all the trial and error, just visit my website where we have challenges designed to help you achieve your body transformation goals, whether that's building muscle or burning fat. You'll get a customizable meal plan that will change as your metabolism adapts and changes throughout the course of the program. You'll also get a full workout plan with a full video exercise library so you're never left confused, as well as a recipe book, and an accountability coach will be there to guide you through the entire process, as well as much, much more. To find out more, you can click the link below in the description, or you could visit my website directly at gravitytransformation.com.